The restaurant buzzed softly with laughter and clinking glasses, but for Ethan Cole, everything around him felt like background noise. He sat at a corner table, nervously straightening his sleeves, staring at the empty chair across from him. He hadn't been on a date in 7 years, not since his wife passed away. Tonight wasn't supposed to be anything serious. His sister had begged him to try, saying he needed to live again, to smile again, to stop being just Dad and start being Ethan again. But sitting there, heart thudding, hands trembling slightly, he wasn't sure he was ready. If you believe in kindness, in love finding its way back no matter how far it's drifted, then take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Silent Hope. Because what happened to Ethan that night was nothing short of a miracle. As the door opened, when the check arrived, neither of them wanted to leave. They lingered, trading glances that said more than words ever could. Finally, Claire suggested they walk by the lake near the restaurant, just like they used to. The night air was crisp, and the moon painted silver lines across the water. They walked in silence, steps falling in rhythm, hearts unsure but undeniably drawn together. After a while, Ethan stopped and said quietly, "I never thought I'd see you again." Claire looked up at him, her eyes glimmering with old emotion. "Maybe we were always supposed to find each other again," she whispered. "Maybe we just needed to grow first." Those words hit something deep inside him. He thought about the years of grief, the sleepless nights holding his daughter, the way he'd built a life from the ashes of loss. Maybe all of it had been leading him here, to this moment, with her. But part of him was terrified. He had a daughter now. A life full of responsibility and love that didn't leave much room for second chances. And yet, Claire didn't seem scared. She didn't look at him like he was broken. She looked at him like she saw the man he'd become, and accepted him anyway. That night, they said goodbye with a hug that lingered a little too long. Neither made promises. Neither asked for more. But as Ethan drove home, he couldn't shake the warmth that filled his chest. For the first time in years, he felt something spark back to life. Days turned into weeks, and they started seeing each other again, coffee dates, walks, simple moments that felt like breathing again. Claire met Lily one Saturday at the park. Ethan was nervous, afraid of how his daughter might react. But to his surprise, Lily instantly liked her. Claire sat on the grass and drew with her for hours, listening to every story, laughing at every joke. By the end of the afternoon, Lily had asked if Miss Claire could come again. Ethan watched them from a distance, a lump forming in his throat. It felt so natural, like something falling into place he didn't even know was missing. But happiness always comes with fear. One night, as he tucked Lily into bed, Ethan's heart twisted. Was it fair to open this door again? What if it didn't last? What if he brought someone into Lily's heart, only to break it later? He'd built his life around protecting her. Could he really risk it, for love? That question haunted him for days. He started pulling back, replying slower, making excuses not to meet. Claire noticed, of course. She always had. One evening, she showed up at his house unexpectedly, holding a small box. Lily was asleep upstairs, the lights dim. Claire stood at the door, her eyes searching his. "You're scared," she said softly. "I get it. But don't let fear steal what's good." She handed him the box. Inside was a simple wooden frame, with a drawing Lily had made at the park. 3 figures holding hands. Claire had kept it. On the bottom, Lily had written in her uneven handwriting, "Me, Daddy, and Miss Claire." Ethan couldn't speak. Tears filled his eyes as he looked at Claire, realizing how much she'd already become a part of their lives without even trying. She smiled faintly. "I didn't come here to ask for anything," she whispered. "I just wanted you to know, sometimes love doesn't end. It just waits until we're ready again." And then she left. That night, Ethan sat on the couch for hours, the picture frame on his lap, memories flooding him, his wife's laughter, the ache of loss, and the quiet grace of the woman who had somehow found her way back into his story. He realized something profound: love doesn't replace what's gone. It adds to what remains. And maybe, just maybe, life was giving him permission to live again. The next morning, he drove to Claire's apartment. She was surprised to see him standing there, holding flowers and that same picture frame. His voice shook as he said, "I'm tired of being scared. I don't know what the future looks like, but I know it's not right without you in it." Her eyes filled with tears as she reached for his hand. "Then don't look back anymore," she said. "Just come home." From that day on, they began again, not as the reckless young lovers they once were, but as two people who had known pain, loss, and still chose love anyway. It wasn't a fairy tale. There were hard days, Lily's questions, Ethan's fears, Claire's cautious heart, but they faced them together. Slowly, laughter returned to the house, light filled the quiet corners, and the little family that fate had once separated began to grow into something real again. One evening months later, as the sun set outside their porch, Lily ran up to them holding a small flower crown she'd made. She placed it on Claire's head and said proudly, "Now you're part of our family forever." Ethan looked at Claire, their hands intertwined, tears glimmering in both their eyes. Life had come full circle, in the most unexpected, beautiful way. Sometimes love doesn't fade, it waits. It lingers quietly in the corners of memory, waiting for the right moment to be rediscovered. And when it finally returns, it's stronger, wiser, and more tender than before. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Silent Hope, because love like this deserves to be remembered. And before you go, comment below, do you believe first love can find its way back, even after years apart? Because sometimes, the most unexpected reunions are the ones that heal us the most, and remind us that it's never too late to begin again.